Making zucchini and chili soup tonight. Right, for the zucchini soup, our ingredients are there's the zucchini. I've got one jalapeno, biggish jalapeno, but it's not very spicy. I've got that. I've got tomatoes. I've got some onion, garlic minced, and some red Bhavnagari Bhavnagari chilies. The green ones are not spicy, the red ones are spicy, but they're going out of season now. So I've got two of those, and I've got one of this. So more on the chilies later. And then there's some chicken stock, and I'll add some water. And of course, how we can forget. Right, so what I've got some olive oil heating out here. It's about 1.5 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more, and on medium flame because it's olive oil. We don't want to get too hot. So I'm going to first pop in the onions, and I'm going to cook them till they're translucent. Once the onions go translucent, then the garlic will go in, and when the garlic loses its raw smell, raw aroma, then I'll pop in the chilies. And now why I've got this combination of chilies is, I mean, you can have any kind of peppers. You can have a green bell pepper, or depending on how strong you want the pepper taste. I like it a little strong, so the jalapeno gives a nice taste to that. And actually the red one is absolutely right for me because it's spicy and it's got a nice peppery taste too. But like I said, out of season now, I managed to get a couple, and I added the jalapenos to get more of that taste. So that's why the mix, but you can use pretty much any pepper or combination that you want, that you can get your hands on. Like maybe a capsicum and green chili, a couple of green chilies if you want it a bit spicy, or maybe just red and yellow capsicum if you want it a little sweeter. So you can just play around with that. And time for the peppers to go in. So I'll sort of let the peppers cook a little bit, maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I'll pop in the zucchini, lots of it, and then the tomatoes, and then let it all cook for some time, and we'll get that. So I'll let it cook till I've got, like, say 3-4 sips in. That's a second sip, but I think it's time that we pop in the zucchini. It is a zucchini soup, so obviously most of the zucchini is the main ingredient. Haha, who would have guessed? So that was about 2 zucchinis, so I'm guessing it's about 2 cups, and I've cut them rough cut, big cut, because we're going to grind and crush it all together later. Grind and crush. Now I'm going to put some salt to soften the zucchini up a bit quicker. So the zucchini is softening a bit. It's been, I'm going slow, to another 2 sips. So time to put in the tomatoes. Now I'm going to put in some more salt, and then let the tomatoes juices come out, and cover it and let it stew for some time, all of it. And so a little more salt so that the tomatoes also soften quick. And now I'm going to cover it and I'm going to let it stew till I guess I've finished half of what's there, and then I'll come back. In case you're wondering, half of what's right. So as expected, about 5-7 minutes it's been stewing. I've covered it, so it's let it stew out there on a low flame. And I don't know if you can tell from there, but now there's a lot of tomato juice, and even the zucchini have shrunk because they've also let out all their water, and I have added to me some water. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a bit of sergeant peppers now. Just season it with a little bit, pinch of it, and mix it up. And then I'm going to add in the chicken stock. How to make chicken stock, I'll just write a brief line in the description below. Very simple thing. It just takes hours, that's all. No prep, nothing. So I'm adding the chicken stock. This is about 2 cups of it. I'm going to bring that to a boil. I'm also going to add a little bit of water, and then in phase 2, it's like Monopoly, you first go around picking up the properties, and then everyone has a property. You make all the exchanges, and then you start building houses and go around again. That would be phase 2. So this is phase 1, and in which now that I've added the chicken stock and a bit of water, and I'm going to let it come to a boil, cover it and cook it, let it simmer for about 20 minutes, 1 drink I guess, or maybe not quite 1 drink, but yeah. And then I'll come back and we'll get to part 2 of the mono. Right, so now it's come to a boil, so I'm going to reduce the flame and let it cook. I finished the first drink. I'll go mix the second one, and when I'm almost through that, I will come back here and we'll move towards phase 2. Okay. I've let it boil. This is the next drink. I finished that drink. I've poured myself another one, so that's about the time it's taken. I've let it cool down. I've removed all the veggies with a slotted spoon, and I'm gonna put them in the mixer. And for those who've been maybe some people who think that there's only one way to count time. There's many ways to count time. Like, it could be 4 minutes and over, or it could be 2.5 to 3 minutes, a rock and roll song. Before Hey Jude, it was pretty much that. So there are many ways to count time. It's not just the number of drinks you've had, but I find that the most reliable. So I've filled this now, and I'm going to grind it down to juice. All right. Okay, so now I've put this on a high heat, and I'm going to let it come to a boil. Meanwhile, I'm going to add the last ingredient, which I never talked about earlier, is basil. Now I'm going to add the basil in 2 phases. One is I'm going to mix it in right now and let the taste, some of it, get infused. Okay, remember, infused. And then some I'm going to use as a garnish right at the end. So because basil kind of goes black when you heat it, so fresh at the end. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to let it come to a boil, and then I'm going to slow cook it. Also, I think it's a little thick for my liking. So, whatever you like, however you like your soups, I like mine quite thin. So, I'm going to add some water and some more. I'll add some more also, another glass. And then I'm going to let it sit, boil away, simmer away for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come and check the taste, the salt, add the garnish, which is some more basil, and then have it hot today. Okay, and then one of these days is again going to be a nice hot blazing day in Bombay, and I will have it chilled with a little basil on top.